John Cena could very well be the best WWE superstar of all time. Seriously, if you go through all the important metrics, that guy just smashed it and he's still going. It's an amazing thing to see. His retirement tour is also going to be part wonderful and part bittersweet. And as his career has been so loaded, let us take a trip down memory lane to enjoy some of the more mad bits and maybe some that we can now forget about. Sound good? Alright, I'm Simon Miller. Number 10, the FU. And the 5 Knuckle Shuffle, I suppose. I mean, that one still gets said. It's quite amazing because, they are referring to that thing that you do when no one's looking and you don't speak of. Let's move on. Given that John Cena was the guy who helped usher in the PG era, though, we did have to change his finishing move because it was literally called the FU. Now, it didn't stand for Fred or Fence or Fudge. Was that other word. It made sense at the time because when Cena exploded, he was the edgy rapper, but as soon as that was gone, he still had the old phrases. Even the "you can't see me" was from that gimmick. That one was fine though. Doesn't actually mean anything. The other time was the fact it was mocking Brock Lesnar's F5. I don't think anybody remembers that now anyway. This is why it was changed to the attitude adjustment, however, which I guess ties in. That's what we were doing from top to bottom. Number 9, his world title collection. So this is likely going to change soon. I have a feeling part of Cena's retirement tour will be winning that elusive 17th world title. This, of course, would break Ric Flair's long-standing record, and I know it's actually been more than that. Let's just stick with WWE stats for now. It makes things way easier. This is why we did go all quiet about the Nature Boy, as John was also on 16. Because they were tied, and because Cena is WWE through and through, everyone thought that was just the better story. Now that there is a chance it's going to shake things up, though, it's probably going to come back to the forefront. But you just gotta forget about all the other madness too. If anybody does deserve this accolade as well, it is John. Look what he gave to the company. If we can allow him to leave with a massive trinket like that, it is not the worst idea in the world, and the moment itself would be quite lovely. Number 8, the strange non-endings. Sometimes, John Cena just says things. It's part of his charm, to be honest, and I would imagine on occasion he was fighting crazy backstage plans too, or lack thereof. He probably had no idea what was next. That's why on that one episode of Raw after Extreme Rules in 2012, he hinted that he may not be around for a while. And then he was. He didn't miss a show. He sort of did the same thing at Money in the Bank 2023, where there was the huge hint that London could get a WrestleMania, and then that was just dropped. I mean, it really did go nowhere, not even a peep since, and even Triple H ran that back in the post-show press conference. He didn't want us to get our hopes up. I think it is just part of the fun of John Cena, because he's such a big star, he can do whatever he wants, and you're damn right. As for those Mania teases, though, you can forget that. He didn't say it. Unless England drops some serious cash, you are not getting it. And trust me, I live in the UK. Cancel those brains now. Number 7, Poopy. You know it was coming. I can't imagine it was his idea, and if your boss tells you to do it, you do it. You can't call your own shots. But sometimes WWE felt like John should overly appeal to kids, so would write things like Poopy on JBL's limo. You heard that right too. To try and get under his opponent's skin, he wrote the most childish insult on a window. Definitely part of why we got the "Let's Go Cena, Cena Sucks" chance, because you never knew what version you were going to get. Sort of worked, I suppose. It made him this incredible figure that did go for more than 20 years on top. Well, let's face it, that's amazing. The fact he was able to ride through this too is just yet more love for the man, but I don't think this is going to be included in any highlight package anytime soon. Number 6 is WrestleMania Record. WrestleMania 41 will be Cena's last ever match at the show of shows. That is one hell of a big deal. Therefore, I imagine one of the 3 things will happen. Number 1, he wins the world title to beat the record, as we build that up huge for someone to defeat him later in the year. Number 2, he loses a world title match to undermine that his time has gone, and it's a younger generation's game. Or number 3, we ignore the title and have a grudge match with somebody like Bron Breakker, and properly give that guy the rub. All have worth and would sort of stick to what John has done at WrestleMania, because despite his apparent dominance, look at this. His record is 10 wins and 6 losses. I mean, that ain't great. Also makes you rethink some of the narrative around the man, and look, I love what we did with that Austin Theory match, but it's fair to say it didn't really work out as intended. Theory never really got that super push out the other side. So as long as we can avoid that again, it'll be a happy time all around. And a sad one too. John Cena's final ever WrestleMania. All things considered, the whole show should be built around him. Number 5, the Lightning Fist. I don't really get what this was. Maybe I wasn't supposed to. It ties into one of Cena's last sort of full-time yet part-time runs, when for some reason he decided his new finish was the lightning fist. That's right, it was just a punch too. Don't overthink it. It lacked any real impact as well, which meant matches ended in the most bizarre of ways, and the rumor around it was always to try and help WWE grow in Asian markets. I can't believe that's true. It almost sounds offensive. I don't think John ever really took it seriously either, which is fine. One of his many positives was how lighthearted he could be. I don't think this was it. And hey, look, I am all for trying new things. It is the lifeblood of wrestling, but I would guess there's a reason he doesn't do it anymore. He is no fool. Number 4, the Nexus. Here we go. I mean, even other wrestlers agree with this one. Because if you do find some random interviews, you will find the likes of Chris Jericho and Edge all saying that, yep, the Nexus should have won at SummerSlam 2010. They are correct. Wade Barrett agrees for obvious reasons because it was all there. Cena wouldn't have been affected at all by losing, whereas this group of renegades were kicking ass. And no, not all of them would have benefited, but as soon as they lost at the first hurdle, all their threat was gone. We all felt silly for thinking we should be worried in the first place. It's a huge reminder why WWE today is better, because I don't think it would happen. All this work and then nope. We're over and done in a few months. It was so utterly ridiculous. I've no idea who made the call, but it was the incorrect choice. A proper mistake, especially when you look back now, but hey, it's not the first time. Very sadly, it's not going to be the last. Number 3, destroying Roman Reigns. Ultimately, this was for the best. Can't imagine Roman took this lightly and probably went away and learned from it. He is a smart dude. Still, in 2017, before their big match at No Mercy, my gosh, Cena dropped the ultimate fine speech on Reigns when he tore him apart for not being able to cut a promo and told him without one he's screwed. It's like watching a fan from Reddit getting mic time. Roman looked totally derailed by this, and while it made John look like a killer, it was everything WWE was doing wrong with the big dog. He couldn't respond properly even if he wanted to because his character was so lame. The irony of that is that we were trying to pitch him as the new John Cena, and yeah, given their roles in the company now, I don't think either would like to go back to this, even if it did help us at some point, because it was amazing to witness this on TV. It was also like watching a puppy being massacred. I don't need that again. Number 2, Bray Wyatt and Rusev. These are debatable, I'll give you that, and again, go look at Cena's Mania record. He did not steamroll everyone. But at various WrestleManias in close proximity to the other, we had potential big-time stars in Rusev and Bray Wyatt, who were on so much of a roll, they came across John Cena on the grandest stage. There's certainly a reason to say John winning was the right call, but you have to take into context the overall play, and yeah, both guys suffered because when push came to shove, they weren't allowed to do it. And I know they were heels at the time, but this wasn't the main event. It was a Nexus situation again. Them winning would have done way more than the other way around. I don't put this on Cena either, as if you do look at the overall booking, the powers that be clearly weren't ready to pull the trigger. Otherwise, they would have sorted this out after the fact. But today, yeah, at least one of them could have got the W, for science if nothing else, but instead we did absolutely nothing. Number 1, his feud with The Rock. I mean, not specifically, those 2 back-to-back matches did crazy business for WWE. Everybody involved, I imagine, is suitably proud. Cena has admitted this part, though, time and time again, because, yeah, when he made those comments about Dwayne Johnson choosing not to come back to the place he loves, even though he said he was desperate to, well, he was wrong and he should never have uttered them. John has said this was down to ignorance because when his in-ring career was slowing down and he made the jump to movies, he totally got it. Doesn't matter how much one stands wrestling, there is no way to appease all these bigwigs, so you have to pick and choose as best you can. As a fan, it was ace because seeing 2 of the biggest stars ever just tear into each other was something else. But I'm pretty sure John Cena and WWE are happy to leave this be now. I mean, it hasn't aged very well, and also everybody's just explained themselves. Doesn't mean you shouldn't go back and watch it. I tell ya, the fire in their eyes. Know any other things that maybe we shouldn't talk about when it comes to John Cena anymore? Make sure you leave me a comment below before you like the video, share the video, and subscribe. You can also click the video on the screen, which of course is about John Cena, but if you'd rather go take a nap instead, I totally understand it. You have some good Z's, my friend, and I will talk to you again soon.